I really appreciate, I know how busy you folks are, and I've been over in the Capitol. We're trying to work on the budget stuff while you guys are doing some important stuff over here as well. And first and foremost, I want to introduce myself. My name's Aaron Bernstine. I'm a state representative in the 10th District. That is, get on the turnpike and drive for 4 hours, and that's where you'll find us. I represent Lawrence, Beaver, and Butler counties. And today I wanted to talk to you about the Hereford Manor Lake. And I would do a couple things. Number one is give you sort of an overview of a little bit of a background. I know you have a lot of things on your plate, and I want to make sure that we're very clear on what that consists of. Then I want to talk about what's been done, and then also we'll talk about what sort of the next steps are. And I really enjoy working, I look forward to working even more closely with the Fish and Boat Commission on this. So it's approximately a 400-acre piece of property that in 1973 was acquired by the PA Boat Commission. The original format was 65 acres of fishing with really two separate lakes, a 20-acre lake and then a 45-acre lake. The original dam was built, and geez, everybody hold on to your belt buckles with this. It was built from strip mine material. Back in the 1940s. So that is why several years ago you had to go in and you had to drain the lakes and remove the dams. It was just an unsafe dam at that point and was not a good thing. Very, very bad things could have transpired. I also wanted to thank Governor Wolf specifically and his team, directly Kate Roberts, as I've engaged in these conversations with what we can do about Hereford Manor. She's been extremely helpful, and the governor has been supportive and very open to a variety of different ways in order to move this project forward. Also, Commissioner Alloway and Tim Schaefer, I don't think I'm telling any of you folks around the table anything that you don't know, but these two are exceptional to work with, of the people that I have the opportunity to work with in Harrisburg. So as we work through the process, there's nobody else I'd rather partner with than you guys. I can't thank you enough for your passion and energy towards not just Hereford Manor, but overall fishing and boating in the state of Pennsylvania. It is extremely important for our area, and you two folks really take the bull by the horns with that. So thank you both. Whenever I won and I took over in December, we heard a lot of political rhetoric of, hey, we're very close to getting Hereford Manor done. We're very close to getting Hereford Manor done. And I'm sort of new to the political game, so I didn't understand that sometimes maybe what somebody says isn't exactly what's true. So I've really reset public expectations on where we are with this project. We are nowhere close to having water put back in Hereford Manor. And I think it's important for the public to understand and the public to know that. Where we are is really the very beginning baby steps of that. And I think that's okay. But you always need to understand where you are before we can understand where we're trying to go. So when you evaluate projects, as you know, or as the people around this room know, money has already been allocated for Hereford Manor for a variety of the different things that need to be done. $43.8 million in cumulative authorization has already been handed out. So the governor has the ability to release those funds and specifically do so. They have indicated to us, and I think that there's no surprise, is I'll drive about 10 minutes that way. We have a budget issue in Pennsylvania, and every single penny counts and every single penny matters. So as we move through this later, I'll talk about some of the private opportunities that are, and we can create some of those public-private partnerships through this process. Whenever you evaluate a project, I look at this in three separate ways. I think economic viability plus public interest plus long-term projection equals a strong decision on if you should allocate taxpayer money. And there's nothing more important than the money that comes from taxpayers and how we wisely spend it. So I'd like to talk about the economic viability of that. Recent studies have shown approximately $20 million it would take to restore in the original conditions for Hereford Manor. I've been very clear with this, and sometimes it's not the most popular thing in the world at home, but I've been very clear with the fact of Hereford Manor is not going to be exactly the way Hereford Manor was before. We are going to have to reimagine what Hereford Manor could be and the variety of things that it could become. That means that we are not going to have a 45 plus a 20 acre lake. It means it may be one larger lake, it may be one smaller lake, it may be three. We don't know those things till we understand till we get the true engineering study behind it. But I've continued to make that case to people. Just because something was the way it was doesn't mean that should be the way that it will be. So we'll work very, very hard to make sure that we're portraying that information to the public. We have approximately $65,000 in private funds that has been saved up. That's a good chunk of money. We also look to have $100,000 by the end of this year, roughly, by the end of this year, in private money that would be set aside, specifically earmarked for Hereford Manor, working with a variety of different groups, some larger donors also. So that talks about the economic viability and the fact that that also rolls a little bit over into public interest, where you have people putting their money. And nothing happens in this world really until somebody reaches into their pocket and they take out money or a credit card and they put it on the table. So people are putting their hard-earned money towards this project because they believe in it and they buy into it. The economic impact study from your information that you've provided us shows a $12.4 million economic impact. That's a big deal. That's a lot of money for an area, especially such as ours in the 10th District in Beaver, Butler, and Lawrence County. One of the things that's also fantastic is Zelienople Airport is directly across the street. That Zelienople Airport, because of that now, just across the street, they have public utilities. So opportunities for camping grounds, opportunities for hotels, opportunities for stores, things like that are now there, where before there wasn't an opportunity to have that in the Hereford Manor area. This is the largest fishing property in the state of Pennsylvania. And then the last part is you talk about public interest. We have 3,332 signatures of people that have signed on that say that they would like to have Hereford Manor reopening and asking the governor to sign on to this. That's a lot of people, right? If you think about something, I mean, I'll take this and just pass it around if I could. There you go, sir. And on the front, it just really talks about what we ask people to sign. So over 3,300 people are bought in Western Pennsylvania, and they're excited for this opportunity. Talk about moving forward, and then I'd be happy to answer a couple questions. And I would share with you that with Rocco, that is also a person that has led this charge and will continue to lead this charge. And I can't stress how great it is to work with him and his team and the people around in Beaver County on this project. This guy is extremely intelligent, extremely bright, works his tail off, and you're a great partner in this, Rocco, so thank you. Thank you. Our goal initially is to reach that $100,000 mark. I believe that $100,000 mark is critical in order to then engage private businesses and private large donors to show them. I think that sometimes a large number on a piece of paper, and when you get to 6 digits, that shows to be a big number. It looks 100,000 looks a lot bigger than 98,000. When we do that, we're able to reach out and we're able to gather additional money. That's one of the things I was excited whenever we talked to Governor Wolf's team, is they said they were very open to private-public partnership through this. So this is no longer a state where we're just going to put it on the taxpayers. This is something where we have an opportunity, naming rights. I mean, who cares what the thing's called, right? We just want a lake where people can go and fish and have a good time. The other thing would be this, is we need your help. So I talked about the economic viability, the public interest. I talked about the economic viability in which $12.4 million economic impact. That's where it is. We talked about long-term projections with this being the largest trout fishing place in Pennsylvania. And then we talked about public interest, where you have 3,300 plus people and growing daily that have said, hey, we want this, and this will be great. we need your help to do couple things. We need your help to go and continue to advocate for this project, just like you have been doing, but we also need your financial help. Looking forward to sitting down and having some additional conversations, just like we have with John and Tim, about how we can work to create those public-private partnerships to really make this become a reality. So I can't thank you enough. I tell you, I work with a lot of organizations over in the Capitol, and the passion, integrity, and effort that you folks put in is second to none, which makes me really excited about this project moving forward. But I'm happy to take some questions if you'd like. Rocco.
Aaron, perhaps you could talk a little bit about the fact before we started the citizens group, we involved Wildlife for Everyone, which allows larger corporations and businesses to contribute on a non-tax basis, because it is a 501c3 organization, and we are running the funds through Wildlife for Everyone, so that advantage is there for larger corporations.
Yeah, Rocco, I'll go ahead and I'll repeat that just in case anybody didn't hear. You talked about partnering with Wildlife for Everyone, which is a 501c3 that allows deductions on taxes from both corporations and individuals through donation. So really what we've done is we've reached out to Wildlife for Everyone, who's a great organization. And sometimes people say, well, here, we're just going to take this money and we're going to put it in a bank account, right? Well, we're working with Wildlife for Everyone now, where that money that we have is going to be invested. Sometimes people say, well, that's risky. That's risky. Well, you know, great things don't happen unless you take risk. That doesn't mean that you're throwing money in private equity. That's not what we're talking about, where the risk is there. What we're talking about is investing it in strong returns in the stock market, and making sure that we're able to take that money and grow that money, because when you can either go raise more or grow more, and we're willing to attack that with a high level. I don't like to use the word aggressiveness. I like to use the word aggression. We operate in our area with a high level of aggression in order to meet an objective, and that's our objective, is to get this amount up. So this also, with working with Wildlife for Everyone, allows us to go out and branch out into those individual donors and make tax-deductible contributions. Additionally, as you know, with small games of chance, with a lot of clubs that are out there, they have to donate a certain portion of their money to a nonprofit and to a charitable cause. Well, this is now included in there. So we're going to be working and advocating directly with those clubs and saying, hey, what can we do in order for you to donate some of that money to us, specifically earmarked for Hereford Manor. It's really a multi-pronged approach that we need to do. This is not there's no such thing as a silver bullet in this, but it's about building what I would call a preponderance of evidence and collaborating together with a variety of different people in order to ultimately achieve a long-term goal. Yes, sir.
Representative, in my opinion, even consider engineering. Fish and Boat Commission needs a license increase very badly. And we actually need you to help push our agenda. Because I mean, we weren't, even to be considered engineering, I'm sure we can't even consider new projects. So, the engineering would be probably expensive. And for Fish and Boat Commission to commit to something like this, we need a license increase. I mean, we're at the point of survival right now.
Yeah, your name?
Bill Savitas, Commissioner.
Bill?
Yes.
Bill, but I'll just repeat it in case anybody didn't hear. Your question is what's my stance, I think, on a license increase. Yeah, so I actually serve on Fish and Game Committee. And so I'm very active, and that's how Tim and I became such good friends. And I'll share with you, I'm for that. I'm for an increase in fishing license fees, because I believe that it creates significant economic opportunity. It's a $12.4 million this particular, but we know what fishing does across the entire state of Pennsylvania. I'll share with you personally, it's not necessarily what I'm here for, but I'll share with you personally, I'm not for giving carte blanche. You could just go make up your own fees whenever you want. I think that is a tax increase. A fee increase is a tax increase. For some reason, government defines fees and taxes as different things. So I think that the legislature we should have our feet held to the fire every time that somebody's fees or taxes go up, and that's why I'm for doing it in that manner. But I am for a fee increase. Any other questions? No? Well, listen, I'll just reiterate, and then we'll go back and try to get that budget done. That's where I'm heading after this. But I can't thank you enough for the work that you folks do. It's a tough job, and I don't think that people tell you that enough sometimes. Everybody always tells you what's wrong, and nobody ever tells you what's right. But I'll share with you that from my perspective, the work that you guys do is exceptional, and I look forward to continuing to work with your leadership team and the rest of you as well. Rocco has my cell phone number. Rocco, you can give it out, just not on camera. But you can have that, and if you need anything, absolutely anything at all, please feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm happy to have an extensive conversation, whatever it is. And by the way, we'd love to have the group at some point. My goal is to have this meeting, actually I have chills thinking about it right now, this meeting with you guys in this room at some point in Hereford Manor when we're putting water in that lake. So God bless you. Thank you so much.